Our presenter this afternoon is David Scott Peters. He's a restaurant expert, speaker, coach, and trainer for independent restaurant owners. He spent the past decade helping the independent restaurant owners remain competitive and profitable in an industry that's been boxed in by big chain restaurants. He's best known as the smart systems guy who can walk into any restaurant and find $10,000 of undiscovered cash before he even hits the back door. Guaranteed. So everybody please welcome back Mr. David Scott Peters.
You have no idea why you did that, right? Just, oh, let's clap. It's going to suck, right? This next hour and a half. No, it shouldn't. My name is David Scott Peters. My company is called the restaurantexpert.com. I help independent restaurants not only survive, but thrive in the sea of chain restaurants out there. You guys are a little bit different. Bowling alleys, snack bars, family entertainment centers. We've got a little bit different. No, you're not. Who here sells food? Oh, who here serves beer, wine, liquor? Who here has people that work for you? I'm sorry, what's different about a restaurant? Really, is your business any different when you say, okay, he's a restaurant guy? No. In fact, you guys take independent restaurant level to another level of crazy, because now we have lanes, and we've got laser tag, and we've got all these other ancillary businesses all in one. And even if you just say, I'm a traditional bowling center, and I've got 30-something lanes, and I've got a snack bar, and I've got a bar, oh, and they're not connected, are they? There's one over here and one over here, which means I've got to have enough labor to stand somebody here and there when there's nobody in the building. Does that sound familiar? You guys add another level of crazy where you can bleed your profitability. So how do we change that? Well, today we're going to talk a lot about food cost. Do understand that everything I teach you about food cost is the same for liquor. Beer, wine, it's exactly the same. It's stuff. It's just different stuff. So every system I give you, you're going to be able to go home and make a change in your business. Who here would like to make more money in the restaurant side of your business? That's what today is about. I will promise you, I will send you home with things you can put into place today. Not just theory, not just things you go, man, if only I had a key to what's behind the magic door. No, things you can do now. But here's the deal. All the things I'm going to provide you, there is no magic pill. Let me be very clear. I suck. I create work. You guys hear what I'm saying? I suck. I create work. There's not one thing that you can do in your business. There's dozens of things you can do in your business that have to be done on a daily basis. You can't just say, oh, if I do this one thing, it's changing my world. Does it make sense? So do know all these little things I'm going to give you have to be done. The problem is, who are my owners? Show of hands, owners. You're crazy makers. You're entrepreneurs. You're ADD. You love the next marketing idea. Opening the snack bar, the restaurant. Bringing up, how do we fill seats? We love the next thing. Do you know what we're not built for as owners? Doing the same thing over and over again the same way every day. That's where I need management. Management, I need you. You have to execute these systems, but owners, guess what you have to do? You have to ensure the process is working. I want you to think about that. Ensure the process is working. How is it that chain restaurants have virtually no owners in them? Does Applebee's, Chili's, Red Lobster, do any of these restaurants have owners in them? How is that possible? Heck, some of you are sitting in here, this room right now, your phones have been blowing up ever since you got to Vegas. Because everybody's texting you the idiot things. The toilet's backed up. Oh, Cisco didn't drop off French fries. What do I do? And you're going, oh my God, you're an idiot. But guess what? What do? You pull yourself out in the hallway and you answer it. You enable your people to do nothing. You are so damn smart, so damn good at what you do, they don't have to think. In fact, they don't. They don't even try, do they? What do? They call you. They text you. They drive you nuts, make you upset and angry. But what do? Oh, watch me fix it. Man, are you good? Yet, all these chain restaurants don't have a single owner in them. How is it these chain restaurants don't have an owner in them? They impose their will without being there. There's a system, a process, a way to doing anything and everything. There's no system too big or too small. Whether it's checklists for every position, opening and closing throughout the whole business, or we're looking at dollars per labor hour and efficiencies in our business. It's as if I were standing over their shoulder when I'm not there. It's so specific and clear. Oh, but you guys, you want your employees to have something that's a dirty word. You ready? Common sense. What the hell is that? Who can tell me what common sense is? Anybody? I mean, honestly. There is no such thing as common sense. Now look, Wikipedia.com, because we don't use dictionaries anymore, do we? We've got to have the community, the whole, tell us what a definition is. Wikipedia.com says common sense is what's common in a room. If you look around this room, we have all different ages, races, financial backgrounds, ages, countries, everything. I mean, you look around, it's very different. My upbringing, your upbringing, very different, yes? Your and mine, very different, right? We don't know each other. Your and my upbringing, different, right? Yours and mine, so different. Yet you want what's in common in a group. That's common sense. You want a 16-year-old on crack in your dish pit to have common sense. There is no such thing. You need to define it. So what is today about? It's not just systems. It's imposing your will without being there. Getting results that are trainable. Getting results that you can follow up on, my ADD entrepreneurs, that you inspect the way you want it done. You hold people accountable. And oh, by the way, managers, doesn't that sound awful? Accountable. I'm going to hold you accountable, idiots. Wrong. When I have systems in place, I change that word accountability to answerability. You will be answerable for your action or inactions. Because I am so specific and clear on what I want you to do on a daily basis. I train you to it. I coach you to it. I make sure you've got it. You show me you got it. Then, by the way, owners, do you ever feel like you don't want to talk to that one manager that should have a bullet in their head? Take up all your time because you don't want to have conflict. I don't want to argue today. What is that? Instead, when I've taught you to a system, a process, a way, when you don't do it, guess what? I go, hey man, you didn't do it. You look at me and go, you're right. I was so specific and clear. But when you think they should read your mind and you get pissed off at her because 3 GMs ago, you set a policy, never communicated to her, but today she breaks that, today you're pissed, she's looking at like, what is your problem? You just changed the rules. No, the rules have been set. Because it's common sense that you should be doing this. Today is about blowing all that out of the water. There is no such thing as common sense. We're going to focus on food cost. Now, why do you want to listen to me? I have no idea. Because the other seminar rooms are full, so you had to come here? I don't know. Tell you a little bit about my background. I grew up in my family's restaurant and catering business back in Linwood, New Jersey, where I worked for the toughest manager I know. Anybody here work for your mom? Sucks. I hated every minute of it. I truly did. Why? Because my mother rode my sister and I twice as hard as anybody else. She said there will be no favoritism. Now, while I hated that, she did me a favor. Why? Because I developed a work ethic like nobody else around me. Everywhere in my career, I moved. I moved up quickly. So she did me a favor. Now, I took those skill sets, worked for a company called Coyote Springs Brewing Company and Cafe. Phoenix, Arizona. Do you remember when brew pubs were hot, the early 90s? One was opening every week. At minimum, one a week. We were riding that wave. Our first location was a cash cow, hand over fist money. Our second location was much like owning a boat. Who owns a boat? A hole in water in which you throw money. As one would make it, the other one would just start sucking. Well, as things went wrong, I had to develop systems to change that reality. That's where I developed what I call my restaurant operational smart systems. These are restaurant systems that are simple, measurable, applicable, repeatable, trainable. If a system is not simple, they will not use it. If it is not trainable, you can't get anyone to use it. Now, as I took those skill sets, I left Coyote Springs. I went to a company called Famous Sam's, a 30-unit restaurant sports bar chain in Phoenix, Arizona, all over Arizona, I should say, as a franchisor. Had an operating team, opened 8 stores. We're going gangbusters. Guys who bought the company wanted to take it public. In under a year, they damn near bankrupted the company. As management took off, I went and taught at Scottsdale Culinary Institute, Management and Human Resources, Wines and Spirits. I'm not a chef. I can't cook. So if any culinary people in here, don't talk to me about food quality because I don't care. I care, but I don't know the difference between CAB beef and other things. It's not my vernacular. But you know what? While I can't cook, I could, with the right systems in your kitchens, run any of your kitchens. I can order on a budget, par levels. I can prep best of par levels. I can schedule based off of schedule, budgeting, and all the things that go along in there. I can run anyone's kitchen. I just have 0 knife skills. So, do know that's where we want to get you to. Now, while I was teaching, I was consulting. And the minority shareholders at Famous Sam said, David, would you come back? About a month before my first child was born, I said, okay. Came back as the chief operating officer. I was supposed to change the company, turn it around, and sell it in 5 years. I walked into a disaster. It should have been bankrupt. I missed that goal by only 3 months. I know what it is to be an independent operator. I know what makes the chain successful. It's my job to give you the same systems and tools that chains use without losing your independence. We love our guests, we love our employees, but we're going to do what the chains do. What do the chains do very well? They make what, owners? Money. Is there anything wrong with you guys making money in the restaurant side, the bar side of your business? In fact, we'll talk about how you have a responsibility to do so. Some of you, it's just a damn amenity that is bleeding your profitability. Some of you have to understand you have to be as good or better than the chain restaurants. Because why? Look at all the chains around your building. And what do your customers do? Decide to eat there before coming to your center or after because you aren't delivering. And I wonder why I can't build my business. Does my food suck? Does my service suck? Am I offering things that are so old, so not wanted by my guest in your demographic? You got to know your center, right? Know your age group, know all those things. But are you hurting yourselves by actually offering something? The wrong thing. Well, here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about cost of goods sold. Standard calculation you all should be doing. I'm going to assume nobody, maybe with the exception of 2 people in this room, take an inventory not for ordering, but for cost of goods sold. We're going to go through that basic. Those of you who say, oh, I already do that, David, that's too basic for me. I will give you 4 calculations. I will guarantee I'll put more money in your bank account. Guarantee I will put more money in your bank account. Owners, what pays your bills, cash or profits? Cash. Cash is king. So did I say I'd make you more money? What'd I say? I put more cash in your bank account. I'm also going to show you that some of you who may have seen me speak in the past and say I put a budget in place, we have a budget for our management team to hit. And you're about to bonus your managers for hitting all their cost of goods sold and labor targets. But cost of goods sold alone we'll talk about here. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't give them a dime. Have you ever found yourself where you've hit your numbers, but you don't have money in the bank to pay your bills, so you don't take a check? How is that possible? I've made all my targets, but I have no money in my bank account. I'm going to show you how. And why managers are responsible for not only your profitability, but your cash flow management. Worst manager I ever worked for in the world. Hated this guy. And I've only hated like 2-3 people in my life. Little Napoleon, son of a... I really didn't like him. Walks my ass into a walk-in cooler. Can learn something from everyone. Walk in the walk-in cooler, says, David, what do you see? Food. No money. What is it? When you see your shelves filled with product, can you go to this power company with a case of steaks and go, thud, we're even? Last time I checked, I can't do that. Anybody here? So, we're going to talk about how that product could be killing you and why you can't pay your bills. We're going to go through recipe costing cards. There's two things every restaurant should have, any business should have, really. Budgets and recipe costing cards. What are two things in most restaurant? I'm going to consider your restaurant, so you have food, you have people, you have beverage. What are two things most restaurants never have? Budgets and recipe cost cards. Why? Because they're so hard. David, you don't understand. What the hell did you go into business for? Who said this was going to be easy? Hey, let's go open a multi-million-dollar center and it'll be easy. We're going to talk about why those are proactive tools. We're going to focus on recipe costing cards. Recipe costing cards? I want to know what everything costs before I can sell it. We'll talk about that in great detail. I'm going to bust the menu costing myth. Now, I understand there was another expert here today that talked about menu engineering, so I've trimmed mine down a little bit. I'm going to focus more on systems, so we're going to talk a little bit at the end and how recipe cards are so imperative to whatever that person taught you. In fact, they're critical. So, let's get started. If you work with me on any level, at any time, whether it's the next hour and a half here or we're on the phones together, you have to change your mindset and understand that you have a responsibility to run profitably. It's not I hope, I pray, I wish, my social working friends. You have a responsibility to run profitably. Number one, to your guests. You fulfill a need in the community, don't you? They walk in your door because you provide something they want. Anybody disagree with that? You have a responsibility to your employees. That's how they're gainfully employed. They feed their families. They pay their bills. Now, granted, half of them drink their paychecks away. Whole nother story. But you have a responsibility to them. But this is where we screw it up as independent operators. You have a responsibility to you, your families, and any investors you may have. And I'm here to say you come first, not last, my social working friends. You get paid first. Now look, we're built to take care of others. I don't care whether you're a traditional bowling center, a restaurant with a couple lanes, a full family entertainment center. What business are we in? Are we in the food business? I don't want to compete on the food business. You want to compete with the gas station? Because I can buy food at a gas station, can't you? What industry are you guys in? Entertainment? Spin that to people? Hospitality. Are we not built to take care of people, make memories? Restaurant, bowling center, family entertainment center, what are we doing? We're making memories, aren't we? We are making memories. That's what we do. Right? The experience. Oh, I remember. I still to this day can remember bowling for the first time with my grandfather and my father. To this day. My grandfather could have been a pro bowler. Unbelievable. But those are experiences, right? They're memories we make. You guys are in the business of making memories. The problem is many of you make bad memories. Bad customer service, bad food, bad everything. And now, oh, sure, that's our people. We'll talk about how it really isn't. But aren't we built to take care of people? So don't we give Sally the extra hours because she needs to make rent? Don't we allow Jose to work overtime because we don't want him to work a second job? By the way, when you do that, when you give away the hours, when you give large portions because you think that's what your guest wants as you throw it away, whose money are you throwing away? Whose money are you giving the employees? Yours. Do you understand that? Every time you give somebody an extra hour, every time you throw a little extra on a plate, whose money is that? Yours. I wonder why I'm not making the money I deserve. You have to change that mindset. Oh, by the way, the systems part I'm going to teach you today, it's easy. Some of this stuff is clipboards. Clipboard, easy. Up in the kitchen tomorrow. Literally tomorrow. But that's easy. What's the hard part? If I put a key item report in your kitchen or a waste sheet in your kitchen, clipboard systems, I can put them up like that, print them off, blank sheets, and put them up. What's the hard part? Not follow through. Define it further. Training? No, I get trained. Implementing? Get it just implemented. So it's kind of with follow through, but it's a little deeper. Getting it used every day. How many times have you come away from one of these seminars with an idea, gone home, put it in place? Look, I know who you are. Your employees know who you are. I love you people. Right? Who do I want to go speak to? People who want information, who want to make change in their business, whether it's an extra percent or have to change everything or it's death. But do you know one thing we all have in common in this room? We want to be better. Do you know what else we have in common in this room? You all have the same employees. When you get off the plane, go back to your business. Tell me this isn't what you see. Oh, shit, they went to another seminar. Oh. What's the new thing that David Scott Peters said, we're going to do this and this and this and this. And then you call me up. David, I know you tell this works for others, but I tried. I can't get my people to do it. What the hell does that mean? I tried. I can't get them. Who signs the paychecks? See, you get caught up in, if I lose this person, I can't work any more hours. How could I possibly do this? This person should not be in my business. They don't fit my company culture. That's the change we're talking about, is your culture in your business. That the details matter. It's going to be done a certain way, my way. It's not systems. The systems are merely a tool. In fact, after the speech, I've got 50 or so bracelets. They say, I'm a restaurant pro, I take action. In big bold, I take action. Okay? You want to learn how to put them together, let me know. But watch this. We've never met, right? What's your name? Joel. Joel? Joel, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to try and pick that up. No, don't touch it. No, don't touch it. I didn't say touch it. I said try. Try and pick it up. Joel, you're not trying hard enough. No, you can't touch it. I'm not touching it. There you go. What's the point I'm trying to make? Do you see what trying gets you? Nothing. My father had a phrase, said, ideas are cheap. It's the people who put them into action that are priceless. I will give you and send you home with all the ideas you need to make change in your business. But if you go home and do nothing, don't whine to me. Don't tell me it's too hard. Don't tell me my people are idiots. Because you selected them, you hired them, you trained them, and you manage them on a daily basis. Grab a mirror. That's your company culture. Starts up here. I know it sounds harsh, but isn't it true? Did they just magically show up? No. Either you're selecting wrong or you're taking good people and making them bad. By not having a system, a process, a way. Wanting them to have common sense and read your mind. Everybody know the definition of insanity? Albert Einstein, doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. Do you know what I add to that? How's it working for you? If you really want change in your business, if you want this conference to change things for you, guess what you've got to go home and do? Take action. Whether it's my seminar, somebody else's, you must take the ideas you learn and put them into action, or they are worthless. You've wasted your time. You've had a good time, brain cells, lost money in the casinos. That's about all you have is a memory. But you're here to change your business, yeah? So I said the two things most independents never have, what we have to have, are budgets and recipe costing cards. I'm going to flash over budgets now. We're going to talk in great detail about recipe costing cards. See, without a budget, how do you know what success looks like? Industry averages. Oh, I saw a speaker who said the National Restaurant Association said that the average food cost for a full-service restaurant is 34%, and you go home and take that number to your chef or kitchen manager. Who the hell said that was your business? Anybody here have the same exact business on the same corner in the same town, same product, same price point, same style of service, same everything? Anybody? Same? Everybody here, right? No. So what are industry averages good for? Nothing. Better yet, wait a second. You use an industry average and you say, well, the industry average is a 34% food cost. What if I do a menu analysis on your menu and we discover you should be at a 22% food cost? But you think you're doing well because you've arbitrarily picked a number and shot for it. It's worthless. So what we have to do is, picture it this way. Some of you get a P&L. Some of you actually get it on a monthly basis. Some of you actually get it within 15 days into the next month. Most of you, it's 30 days, 60 days, 90 days later. And when you get it, you look at this. Oh, shit. Right? It's not happy. You're not happy. You're not happy with your numbers. Let me ask you a question. If you look at your P&L and your numbers aren't good, what does it represent? The past. Can you change the past? Anybody here go backwards in time? Change it. It's a report card. Oh, look how bad I did. Oh, and then you get, if you're lucky, 15 days in the next period. You tell your kitchen manager, your chef, your food cost is high. 15 days in the next month, you tell that person, you've made the same dumbass mistakes for 45 days in a row, and now I want you to fix it. I'm halfway into the next month, now I want you to fix it. It's too late, isn't it? I'm halfway through my next month. I've been making the same dumbass errors, but now you want me to fix it. I wonder why we don't give them the opportunity to be successful in our business by giving that information then. See, with a budget, what I do is we take your P&L and we create a model that if we operated the next 12 months the same way you operate today, this is how much money you make. And then you as owners go, yuck. And then we make changes. We go line by line by line. It might be we get garbage pickup 2 days a week instead of 3 and save $50 a week. Those $200 savings are worth thousands. Oh, but then we'll go through prime costs. We're going to talk about that in a moment. We're going to talk about controlling our food costs, our pour costs, our labor costs, and how we can truly make change in our business. We're going to create what? A plan. What systems do I put in next to put in place to change my reality? To say, I don't want a 34% food cost. I need it to be 25. Oh, next month, we're going to put portion controls in place. Ordering. We're going to re-engineer a menu, and you bring your budget down. It doesn't overnight change. But I proactively decide what I'm going to do different in my business to change my reality. Now, guess what? If I have a budget, I get that P&L, I put those side by side, and I measure, did I hit or miss my numbers? Did I hit or miss? Those items that I hit, great. Those that I missed, what do? I go inspect the system I put in place to change that reality. Maybe it's not being used. Maybe it is being used and I have to implement new systems to change that reality. And by the way, budgets. Everyone in this room as an owner had a budget once. Do you remember when that was? Once. When did you have a budget? When you went to the bank and said, I need money. Doesn't this look good? This looks good, doesn't it? Did it ever fall into place the way you put it in black and white? So in fact, on a routine basis, at least monthly, we're going to change the rest of the year. When we measure, if we hit or we missed, we change the rest of the year. We don't just accept we lost money. We say, I lost the money I was supposed to make. What small changes can I make the rest of the year to make the money up that I lost? To make the money I deserve. See, it's not just one and done. By the way, how do you know what success looks like if you don't have a budget? How do we tell our management team what our labor cost numbers should be? Oh, labor is one of those things different than food cost, pour cost. I could have a food cost that goes straight across the same food cost throughout the whole year. Some of you are very seasonal, aren't you? You will actually decide to run a higher labor cost in the off season so you don't have to lay people off because your social worker in you wants to make sure they have a job. In the in season, we're going to be way under budget because you know what happens when we're busy? Our customers manage our efficiencies. We can't add any more employees. We're just busy. But what I know is the highs and lows at the end of the year, I'm going to be somewhere in the middle, a number. And so we have to manage that way. Without targets, you come into your business and go, labor, cut labor, cut labor, cut labor, cut labor. Next day you see somebody like me, you go, food costs, food costs, food costs, food costs. And your management team's going, what the hell? With a budget, I can put in together a plan and the numbers you need to hit for your business. It's critical. Now, prime cost. If there's only one piece of information you leave here with that you retain, it must be this definition, this number. By the way, those of you who gave me your business card or filled out that card, I'm going to email you this PowerPoint. Okay, so do know, if you want to pay attention, it's coming. Prime cost is the one number you must know in your business. To old-timers like me, we called it controllable expenses. In the control of management, how I hire, fire, train, purchase product, utilize product. It's my manager's report card. But now we call it prime cost. When I started my business years ago, that target was 65%. We'll talk about that in a second. What does that mean? Well, first let's define what it is. Total cost of goods sold plus total labor cost. Total cost of goods sold is not purchases divided by sales. Many of you in your P&Ls, you're on a cash basis, which is incorrect. It's whatever I pay for and whatever my sales were. How's that work? I have a busy in season. The next day, school starts, customers drop off. I pay the bill the next month for my busy months, but my sales are in the toilet. Is that your cost of goods sold? No. It's not a direct reflection. So we have to take inventories, and we're going to talk about that. Beginning inventory plus purchases minus anything gives me use. Use divided by sales. I'm going to give you that. If you do not take an inventory on a minimum monthly basis, by the way, remember when I said I suck, I create work? With me, you'll be counting weekly. Weekly. But here's the deal. If you don't take inventory now, what I want you to do is write this down. Take your total purchases for the last 12 months divided by your last 12 months in sales. The inventory change is so small, just so small that is your food cost. That is your poor cost. You're purchasing for 12 months divided by 12 months in sales. That is an accurate number. Then we add labor cost. Owners, when you pay a cook $10 an hour, does $10 an hour come out of your bank account? Taxes, benefits, insurance, and that's worse for some of you. Right? If I'm in Seattle, Washington, $15 minimum wage, it's coming. LA just voted it. Over the next 3 or 4 years, it's switching to. All right, do you understand? This is big money. $15. $15. It's coming. So, I have taxes, benefits, insurance, what I call raw labor costs, the ring at the register. If I punch in 1 hour, it's not $10. That's raw labor, plus taxes, benefits, insurance. Owners, where do you fall? Are you part of prime costs? Maybe. If you are a manager on the floor, you work your business. Like when you show up, people check in with you, you've got keys, that place does not operate if you're not in the building. You are a part of prime cost, or a modified salary. If you pay somebody else $35,000 a year and you're paying yourself $60,000, $35,000 of your salary belongs to prime cost. Why? I'd have to replace you. At some point in time, my job is to fire you. I want you working on your business, not in it. I don't care if you show up every single day, because the ADD entrepreneur in you just can't let go, and you love your tables, and you're like, oh, I love my tables. Oh, they're so nice. And you can't leave them. Great. But I want it that you could walk out that building at any point in time and that place runs. It's not dependent on you to run a shift. Now, if you work 2 days a week on the floor as a manager, 2/5 of your salary, or an adjusted 2/5, part of prime cost. Hopefully, you're working on your business, not in it. You're not a part of prime cost. You're just sucking up profits where I want you. Does that make sense? Question is, how do I measure this? Do I measure it off of gross sales or net sales? Let's define them first, because your point of sale system, most of your POS systems are wrong how they define these two terms. Gross sales is the ring at the register Before discounts, not including sales tax. Sales tax is not a sale. It's the privilege of the government letting you collect their money and penalizing you worse than the mob if you borrow it. Right? I mean, I'd rather do a credit card loan than borrow from the government. We've all done it. I put money on it. Ring at the register, before discounts, not including sales tax. So if I ring up a $10 burger and I comp $5, gross sales is $10. Net sales is the ring at the register minus discounts, not including sales tax. In this case, $10 ring at the register, $5 comp, my net sale is $5. My question for you is prime cost. Do we measure it off of gross sales or net sales? And the reason why we had to define it, your point of sale system, most of your gross sales report net sales. It's after discounts. Your POS report, I'll put money on it. Do I measure prime cost, my management's performance, off of gross sales or net sales? Who can tell me? Yes?
My understanding is that net sales is after your expenses, not after your costs.
That's net profits. Different. This is just what I want is sales. Net sales or gross sales? Excellent question. Do I measure off of gross sales or net sales? $10 burger or $5 burger? Gross. Most of us have been trained in our industry to go net. Let me put it this way. It is not your kitchen manager's or chef's fault that you decided to do the crack cocaine of restaurant marketing and do a Groupon at a 78% discount. Is it? Look, if I ask chef to put out a burger for $10, use $3 in product, that's a 30% food cost. If you decide to comp 50% of it, food cost just went from 30% to what? 60. Is that the chef's fault? Let's put it this way. Tomorrow, my social workers, you're going to run a charity event for your favorite charity. It makes your heart just pitter-patter. It's a $10,000 event. You're going to comp 50%. Do you staff for a $10,000 day or a $5,000 day? Do you buy food and booze for a $10,000 day or a $5,000 day? What do I want to measure prime cost off of? Gross sales, 10 grand. Right? Comps are a line item. It is your profitability management team. When your owners say that you need to keep comps within 3 to 4%, that means they've already said for every dollar comes in, we're going to give back 4 cents. Gone. In an industry that often only makes 5 to 8%. I want you at 15 to 20% in your restaurant bar operations. It's very possible. Even for some of you who have minimum staffing levels. Now, once we know, what is our number supposed to be? In the old days, when I started my company 12 years ago, that number was 65% for a full-service restaurant, 60 for a quick serve. I thought I was a hero. I had my people down to 60%. That means for every dollar I bring in sales, I use 65 cents in people and product to deliver that product. That's it. That's all it means. Now, I don't know if you felt it, those of you who've been in business for a while. I remember about 7 years ago when the economy kind of took a little crap. Anybody? Anybody notice that? Worst day in American history. Modern American history, 9/11. The next day, what happened to your food prices? Literally the next day. From that day, they've gone up every day, haven't they? There's always something. Your costs go up every day, do they not? I can't operate off these old numbers. By the way, the idiots in Congress, if you hadn't noticed, I'm one of those dissatisfied Americans. I don't care what side of the political fence you live on, I think they're all idiots. 2 summers ago, remember when they didn't pass our debt ceiling? 2 weeks, 24-hour news coverage on how we suck. What happened to your sales? They dropped, didn't they? We've got these people affect our lives and the decisions they make on a daily basis. Well, I'm here to tell you that the rules have changed. If you do $850,000 more a year in your food and beverage operation combined, your new number is 55% or under. That means if some of you in this place have a $1 million restaurant and you're running at 65 thinking you got it, I'm telling you there's 10 points on the table. $100,000 in bottom line profitability on the same sales you're doing right now. Would anybody here not want 100 grand? If I could give you 100 grand right now, who would do the work? You lie. You think I'm kidding? I can't tell you how many people I get on the phone. Oh, David, I'm ready. You actually have to implement something. You have to do something. I suck. I create work. I take you from not taking an inventory all year until, oh, you take an inventory once a year. Your CPA says, what's your inventory value at the end of the year when you do taxes? Well, what was it last year? Oh, add $500. That ain't inventory. Okay, we have to count stuff. And then we've got these employees that have to do it, and they beat on you, and they beat on you, and they beat you into submission like they always do. They always get to tell you, no, we're different. We can't do that here. Oh, by the way, if you tell me you can't do something, your employees tell you they can't do something, I want you to rephrase that sentence and change the word can't to won't, because that's what you're telling me. I won't change. I won't take inventory. I won't do what's necessary to make my business profitable. You know, it's okay for you to make money, right? It's okay for you to make a lot of money. It really is. By the way, when you make money, you can do more for others. We can choose what to do with our money, whether it's charity or add more labor or whatever, but not be a victim in our business and hopefully have something left over. That's what budgets do. That's why prime cost is so important. Management team, this is your report card. You can't control what I spend on rent. You can't control what I do on marketing, but you sure can control who walks in that day, what product you buy, how you utilize that product. Make sense? This is huge. Oh, by the way, how do we mix this up? I don't care if I'm family dining, 30% food cost, or liquor, beer, wine, total cost of goods sold, 25% labor cost. What's that? It's 55 points. I could be a burger restaurant, 20%, 35. That's 55. I can be a steakhouse. Somebody in this room could run a 40% food cost on purpose and make money. Because later I'm going to teach you a concept called cash contribution. It's going to be the minority in this room. Someone in this room has a $1, $2, $3 million restaurant sports bar. Many of you have a $30,000, $100,000, $150,000 snack bar and bar. Do know, as we get those numbers up there, the people that have, by goodness, restaurants, fine dining, we could do this. High food costs on purpose. This is why I focus most of my speech on prime cost. Because I want you to understand this one thing. You don't leave this room and just beat upon your management team on food costs because that's what you saw. We have to have a budget because you may decide that your labor costs are going to run high because you're in the off season, which means you have to re-engineer your menu to get the food cost and pour cost down in order to survive. They go together. You can't just come in and go, food cost, food cost, food cost, food cost. If you spend too much time just focusing on cutting costs, you can actually cut your business out of business. Not have enough people to give great service, buy the crappiest product in the world, and you can cut yourself to death. You must have a top-line mentality with a bottom-line efficiency. We're always looking to drive sales. My job is to help you make every penny of profit on every dollar that comes in. Now, by the way, see this 55 number? The higher you go in revenue, the lower that number goes. The more booze you sell, the lower that number goes. And it's not because the cost of goods sold is lower. It's damn near the same. Food cost, pour cost anymore, about the same. It's that it takes one bartender sweating in ice to deliver $1,000 in sales. It takes 3 cooks, 4 cooks, 5 cooks to do an hour and deliver $1,000 in sales. The efficiencies on labor are huge. Does that make sense? Used to be old-timers like us. It was, booze was a lower food cost. It's not anymore. Now, to be successful in the restaurant biz, I'll make sure I'm where am I? 16. Okay. To be successful in the restaurant business, you must have 3 skill sets. One is your quantifiable skills, or qualitative skills. It's the gut feel. You know your business because you walk the circle. Tom Peters, no relations to me. If you remember, management consulting guy, had a bunch of books in the early 90s. Called it management by wandering around. You know your business because you walk your circle. You touch the tables, you order, you hire, fire, you do all these things. You know your business and your checking account, and you use those to manage. That doesn't work anymore. Then you see an idiot like me and you get your quantitative skills, the numbers. And you grab onto that industry average, which means nothing to you in your business. And you tell your chef, your kitchen manager, 34% food costs, that's what we want. Who said that was right for your business? Who said your food cost shouldn't be 18%? Who said your menu is not 40%? But whether we have these two things, the thing we must add is solid training. You cannot leave this conference and start to hold your management team accountable for things you've not taught them. You cannot hold somebody accountable for something you learned sitting in this room if you don't take the time to teach them. Give them that system, that process, that way. And that's what systems provide. Systems provide me quantifiable numbers, budgets, targets to shoot for. They give me trainable results because when I have a target, a system, I have a trainable way to reach it. A system, a process, a way to doing anything and everything. Your way, even if your way sucks. See, some of you have people on your team that you're afraid to fire because if they leave, how will you do that job? It's all here. How can I order for my kitchen? It's in this one guy's head. How can I order for the bar? If she leaves, it's all in her head. There's no system. You've not developed a business. You've developed people who own you. Does it make sense? Especially in the kitchen. I have a philosophy. I know you're going to find this hard to believe because I'm such a positive person. I think managing people sucks. I hate managing people. Do you know what I want to do? I want to manage systems. You either did the job or you didn't, and I want to develop people. That's fun. Because when that chef leaves me, his sous chef is already trained in all the systems and moves up. Everyone's training their replacement because they're trained on a system, a process, a way. It's not in one person's head. That's how we have to change things. No matter what part in your business, forget about the restaurant side, everything in your business needs to be that well thought out. My favorite part about systems is this. It takes the personalities out. I don't care if you're a bully manager. Quite honestly, I think you should be shot if you are. Rules written by me for you to follow. If you don't like it, there's the door. Don't let it hit you in the ass on the way out. I don't care if you're a jellyfish. You know, the new manager who was just puking in somebody's car last night and now is the bar manager and has to get people to respect them. Right? Why do I call them a jellyfish? They need to crystallize a spine. They want everybody to like them, right? Can't hold anybody accountable. I hope you're a head coach somewhere in between. But no matter where you are, when I walk into your business, I can grab the manager checklist. You did it or you didn't. You either ordered on budget or you didn't. You either scheduled next week on budget or you didn't. You either controlled labor. You either did or you didn't all of the things I want you to do. There is no conflict. You either did the job I trained you to, I coached you to, or you didn't. That's where you have to get your business to. That's how you're able to sit in this room without your phone blowing up. Now, let's get into the numbers side. We're going to pick up some speed. Cost of goods sold. Everyone in this room should be taking inventory minimum monthly. I will have you doing it weekly. Many of you go, oh, it takes 4 hours because it's not set up right. I want to set you up shelf to sheet. The way the product lives on the shelves, same as my count sheet, the way I want it counted. By the case here, by the bag here, by the ounce here, and 6-ounce portion bags here. And they all have value. So what I don't want is a line cook standing in a walk-in cooler looking like a tourist in New York City trying to do arithmetic in their head. Ounces, case price on the spreadsheet. Because that's accurate, right? I didn't pay them to do math. I didn't. But I can teach them to count the way they see it. The way they see it. In the order they see it and move it quickly. So we start with the beginning inventory. Beginning inventory comes from where? Last month or last period. See, some of you are going to say, David, I can't wait. I'm going to start inventory end of this month. Why wait? Cost of goods sold calculation can be done for 1 day, 20 days, 90 days. It doesn't matter. Start. So it's my ending inventory. Plus purchases. We're on something called an accrual accounting system, earn OUs. It means whether I pay Cisco or not, it's an expense this period. If I sign for it or pay for it that day, it is an expense that day. Add those together, it's my total available. It's what I could sell. Then I take an ending inventory. When does my ending inventory come from? The end of the period. Whatever that is. I want you to be weekly. Beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending gives me use. This is what product use is what we used. Problem is, it means it left the shelves. There are different ways we can use products. What's the number one way we hope we use our product? Sell it. Oh, but we have waste and spoilage, don't we? How many people here allow their servers to deliver salads to the guest on their own? Anybody have a full-service restaurant that does that? Do you have a 2-ounce portion cup and a 4-ounce portion cup in inventory?
No, they just deliver it.
Say it again?
The servers just deliver it.
Oh, they just deliver. I'm talking about when they can get their own. So for instance, many full-service restaurants, they get their own dressings and they pour them into the portion cups. There's 4-ounce and 2-ounce portion cups. Recipe calls for 2. Lazy server grabs 4-ounce. I put 4 ounces of ranch dressing out. I kill the profitability of that dish, and more ranch isn't always better. I know it's hard to believe. Theft. Nobody here has thieves. No. I mean, some of these people are my family. I know. Product leaves. Now, this is important. This next one, you must circle. Comps, but these are not the comps in the register. If I ring up a $10 burger and comp $5, don't I see $10 on my register? Yes. These are you as owners taking product from your shelves. I'm an independent business. I'm going to do everything I can to get the tax advantage if I can. Take your product, but you better put it on a waste sheet. Because when you want to fire me because my food cost is high because you decided to have a barbecue and grab ribs and steaks from the kitchen, throw them in the back of your truck, and take off, this equation is blind. It just says product's gone. I don't wonder why I can't make my food cost. And you're going to fire me? You took the product. It better be written down. So these are comps, not the comps in the POS system, product that you take home. See, managers, what do we want to know? We just want to know what the rules are, right? Make whatever rules they are, but hold me accountable to the rules. Don't change them on me by taking product and go, why is food cost high? Use divided by sales gives me cost of goods sold percentage. That's it. Everyone in this room should at minimum be doing this on minimum a monthly basis. I bet there's no more than 2 of you doing that in this room right now. Those of you who are doing it, say, oh, David, it's basic. I'll show you 4 calculations. I'll put more money in your bank. Remember we talked about that earlier? 1, we start off with average inventory. Beginning inventory plus ending inventory divided by 2. Whew, that's tough math, isn't it? Take the 2 numbers, add them together, divide by 2. This is not hard. What do I do with that? I go back to my use right here. Use divided by my average inventory gives me inventory turns. What's an inventory turn? Who can tell me what that is? How often I sell the inventory, turn it over. So, in theory, it is taking my shelves, filling them up, using all of the product, refilling them, that's a turn. Using all the product up, refilling them, that's a turn. Anybody in this room, even if you've had the displeasure of having to close a restaurant, ever use 100% of your product? So it's the average dollar value. See, I've got dairy, produce, things that I buy weekly, 3 times a week. Then I've got this pickle bucket of paprika 3 chefs ago wanted to save me money. And everybody goes, do I still have to count that? right? Just go ahead.
Why you divide that by 2 on the average inventory?
Beginning inventory plus ending. There's 2 numbers. That's it. Beginning inventory. So then the use is this. Use, product that leaves the shelves, divided by my average inventory, tells me how many times I turned over those shelves dollar-wise. If I have a $5,000 average inventory, every time I buy $5,000 in product to replace it, that's a turn. How many turns should you have in a calendar month? How many inventory turns do you think you should have, dollar value, in your restaurants? 4 to 6. That means you only have enough food on your shelves to go 3 to 4 days. Some of you are going to have a problem when you go back and you start to look at these turns, because you're going to go, there's no way in hell I can get my turns. Because 3 chefs ago, you've got turkey legs and lobster tails for a failed event that are taking up your freezer space, and they're high dollar value. You're going to have to learn to get that inventory down to where you can turn it over. And many of you are going to see you have 1.5 turns when you get back. Because you're so afraid of running out of product. Because when you opened up, well, we had 86 of them. If you 86 another GD item, I swear to God. What do I do as a kitchen manager or chef? How do I fix that problem? How do I do it? Just buy more. It's not my money. And I put it on the shelves and I buy more. Can I go to the bank with that? Can I pay myself with that? Don't I have more waste, more theft, more spoilage? When employees see that you have so much product on your shelves and nothing's precious, they don't scrape a mayo jar down. They just go to the next one. And you wonder why you're not making the money you deserve. Because you're tying it up on inventory and people are handling it like it's nothing, when it really is your money. Then we got change in inventory. Ending inventory minus beginning. My inventory go up or down. Then we have a budget variance. I can't have a budget variance if I don't have a what, people? A budget. Targets to shoot for. Is any of this tough? It's addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. That's it. There's no quadratic equation. There's no coefficient of friction. Do you know why we freak out in the restaurant business when we see math? I'll tell you why. When I was a kid, junior high school, there was a problem that was introduced called the word problem. A train leaves Chicago at 3 o'clock, traveling at 25 miles an hour. Another one leaves Philadelphia at 4 o'clock, traveling at 20 miles an hour. Where do they meet? My answer was, I don't give a damn. Cisco pulls up the back of your restaurant, drops off $3,000 in product. Jose puts it away. We start prepping. 25 customers walk in. At the end of the day, you have what? X. See, we're going to find the same damn equations. They're all easy. What freaks us out is we don't know where the numbers come from and how they tie together. It's a word problem. But there's nothing hard about it. Once you understand where they come from, how they fit together, this is easy. So here you go. Here's an example. Let's say this is a calendar month. Remember, I'm going to email you the PowerPoint. It's all good. Start with $3,500 on my shelves. Came from last month, last period, last week, whatever that period is. I purchased $22,500 in product. Does it matter whether I paid for it? No. I could sell $26,000 at the end of the month. Or end of period, I counted $6,800 in product. Subtract that from $26,000, we used $19,299 in product. Does this equation know how it left? You hope you sold it, but it has no idea whether it was stolen, wasted, spoiled, does it? That's why I need systems in place to know where every dollar goes. Product used divided by sales for that same period of $63,000. Used divided by sales says I have a 30% food cost. It means 30 cents on every dollar that comes in food I used in product. That's all that means. I have a last variance. I want to see if there's any fluctuation. Somebody's playing with me. But if I stop right here and my budget target was 30% and I'm at 30.61%, I'm going to bonus this manager. Wrong. This manager is not getting a dime. This manager hit budget, and they aren't getting a dime. Why? Add the next 4 equations. Look at this. Average inventory beginning plus ending divided by 2. Average inventory is $5,200 on the shelves. Use, $19,300 divided by $5,200 says I had 3.72 turns in this calendar month. Is that good? What's my number? 426. Change in inventory. My inventory went up $3,200. Then I come down here, variance. Budget was 30 cents on every dollar, 30% times 19,300. Says I should have used $18,900. I actually used 19,300. My management team wasted $385 on $63,000 in sales in a whole month. Anybody bothered? Anyone bothered by this? I'm not. You're never going to be perfect. If they're within a point, now, don't get me wrong, depending on your volumes, what a point means. In this restaurant, a point is worth $630. If you're a $2 million, $3 million, $4 million restaurant, a point's a lot of money. So at what point in time does it feel like somebody kicked you in the gut? That's your number. Forget about percentages. When you say, I've operated in a calendar month, this is my money that they've blown, that's your number. It's going to be unique to each individual. But here's the deal. Why wouldn't I bonus this manager? They hit cost of goods sold. Well, we wasted $385 in mismanagement of product. Not bad. But my inventory went up $3,200. Combined, we had a net effect, a negative impact of $3,600, and you wonder why you couldn't pay yourself that month. $3,600 is no longer in your bank account, and that was the difference between you doing the marketing idea you wanted, take money home, paying your bills, whatever it may be. And by the way, when I have more food on the shelves, it is at risk to be what? Stolen, wasted, spoiled. You have to manage your money. When you look at your product, that is your money. I wonder why I'm not making the money I deserve. Does this make sense? So now let's pick up a little speed here. Recipe costing cards. Yes, you may. Question is, we have deals, whether food or liquor, primarily happens in liquor, depending on the state you're in, we get to buy a certain massive amount of booze and they'll give me free product. When is a deal, and when is it a bad decision? If I'm going to use that product within 3 weeks, that's a good deal. If it's going to sit there longer than 3 weeks, you've tied up my cash. I would rather have a higher cost of goods sold and have the cash in my hand to pay my bills and do things that I need to than, oh, I've saved money. What I call it is the Costco Sam's Club mentality. Look, I bought toilet paper for like 2 cents a roll, but I have 5 years worth of toilet paper. Right? I can't convert that into cash, pay my bills with it. So, does that answer your question? 3 weeks. If I don't need that cash, that is going to be up to you. No, it's a good point. There are some people that's not an issue. Then I need key item reports, and I need control sheets, perpetual inventory, because when I buy too much stuff, it will get stolen. And if I don't lock it down and count it every day and have an in and out control, then I'm bleeding just because you can. A lot of us, small businesses, lower volumes, you heard the reaction, right? They can't even think that way. I got multiple locations, I've got cash flow, I've got better buying programs, different situation. It's going to be different for everybody. Recipe costing cards. 2 most important things any restaurant should have: budgets and recipe costing cards. The 2 things most restaurants never have: budgets, recipe costing cards. They're too hard. Well, let's talk about it. Recipe costing card. Why is the recipe costing card important? 2 reasons. Consistency. What's the other one? Pricing. Cost. Profitability. Consistency and profitability. 2 summers ago, I had the displeasure of buying car tires, automobile tires, for 2 cars on the same day. Everybody here purchase tires? When you go in a tire retail store, you see tires stacked up with a price on them, don't you? Let me ask you a question. Do you think that manager came in, got his or her cup of coffee, drank it, came out of their office, looked at a stack of tires and went like this? $350? Or do you think they knew exactly what each tire cost and what they needed to sell it for to make money? Yet in our business, hey chef, kitchen manager, what's today's special? There's Sally with the great chalkboard writing. Loopy. Chef, how much? Oh, what did we charge yesterday? $13.95. $13.95. You're kidding me, right? We're guessing. Look, and by the way, does everybody agree that if you have a feature, a special item on your menu, something you did for a day, you should be able to charge more for it? Yeah? Think about it this way. Your guests get the opportunity to have chicken that has 1 day left on it. They should pay more. That's special. Right? Let's look at it this way. Would everybody agree with me that your menu is the heartbeat of your food and beverage operation? Has everything to do with price point, service, everything. Decor in your sports bar or lounge or whatever it may be, right? If it's the heart of your business and you're not costing everything out and you're losing money on items that you're selling, you could be shoving cholesterol in all your veins and killing the profitability or the business. Every dish you sell. So don't tell me what your food cost should be if you don't have accurate, up-to-date recipe costing cards for every menu item, every sauce, side dish, because if not, you are throwing your profitability ready to what I call dumbass luck. Is it anything but that? If you don't know what everything costs, how do you know if you're making money? What you should be selling it for? These are a priority, but they're so hard. They take 40 to 60 man hours for an average full-service restaurant. Snack bar, still might be 30 hours. Every sauce, every side dish that you make before you ever build another dish. Who here sells chicken wings? Whole building, right? You buy chicken wings by the pound. You use them in a recipe by the each. Oh, that's a batch recipe. I can convert pounds to an each. I make my own ranch dressing. I've got 5 sauces, celery, carrot sticks. I may have 9 batch recipes to do before I ever put 12 wings on a plate to sell. That's what stops us. There's so many. Tough. If you're selling food and beverage, every bottle of beer, every Mai Tai, whatever the hell you're selling, has a cost. By the way, I'll skip that. I don't have time. Recipe costing card. This is the old-fashioned way. This is the old-fashioned way. Ingredients, like a grocery list, lettuce, tomato, and so on. The cost of how I buy it, the quantity of how I buy it. If I buy a case of romaine lettuce, column A is the cost of the case. Column B is the quantity or number of ounces in that case. Problem is, we have products that have a yield. We have to run a yield test. Column C. What is a yield test? How much usable product I have. So romaine lettuce. Remember, I can't cook, so I got to make it easy on me. Head of romaine lettuce. Top is wilty, green, brown, has bugs. Are you going to serve that? Throw it away. Bottom is like an apple core. Only a goat would eat. Are you going to serve that? Throw it away. Make it easy arithmetic. Let's say I spent 10 cents a pound and I have 10 cents an ounce and I have a 50% yield. That means I use it at a 20 cents a usable ounce. That's dramatically different in my recipe card, isn't it? You have to run yield tests on every product that has a yield. Don't buy the book of yields and think you got it, because some of you may sell so many sandwiches that you have 100% yield on a tomato because you take all the ends and make tomato basil soup fresh every day. Whereas another person is throwing it away, has an 85% yield. Or you have an idiot like me with 0 knife skills and have a 60% yield. You do not want me prepping. But every time I prep incorrectly, whose money am I throwing away? Yours. Now, if I know my usable ounces, I know my usable price, put my quantities in, multiply it 2, I know how much it costs. Use divided by sales is food cost. Easy. Well, wait a second. There's a couple pieces here. Spice factor, consumable factor. Who here gives your guests chips and salsa for free? Bread and butter. Mustard and ketchup. Please. Oh, you're also special. We're different, David. I give nothing away for free. Wrong. Now look, I don't go up to the table and go, looks like you used about 52 cents in mustard. I'm going to put that on your bill. Close your doors. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. But in cost of goods sold, everything that gets used, product that leaves the shelves divided by sales increases my food cost, right? But you're giving it away for free. I wonder why I can't make my food cost. How is it that I don't make it when I give stuff away for free? I don't give anything away for free. Do you remember beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending gives me use. I do that for all the products I give away for free, my consumables. Beginning inventory, those things I give away free, what I buy or prep, minus ending gives me what leaves the shelves, dollar value. Then I go to that expensive cash register called a point of sale system. And I run an item by item sales report, a PLU report, velocity report, whatever your POS calls it. How many entrees did I sell? Not sides, not apps, not any of that stuff. How many entrees? Take the dollar value of the product I gave away for free, use what left the shelves, divided by the number of entrees I sold, come up with 25 cents, 10 cents, $1.35, whatever the number is. It goes on every entree recipe costing card. I charge for everything. It's built into my sale price. I give nothing away for free. This should be a game changer. I cannot figure out why I'm not hitting my food cost. I'm giving stuff away for free. Give it away is what? Use. Question. So if on my ketchup, mustards, if I gave away popcorn and peanuts at the bar, the value of those things, inventory. Then all that product I bought during that period of only those items. Take an ending inventory of only those items. Beginning inventory plus purchases minus end gives me use, how much product left the shelves, and dollar value for only those items I give away for free. POS, number of entrees, divided into that number, I come up with my spice factor, my consumable factor. That's huge. For many of you, paper is a question mark. Is paper food cost? Well, butt paper is not food cost. Question is this. Let me give you an example. If I'm a Taco Bell and every taco goes out is wrapped up in a piece of paper, it is food cost. It is a part of the recipe. I buy it as food, I inventory it as food, I use it as food. If I sell pizzas and 50% of them go to go, it's a paper expense. Otherwise, you're padding the recipe. You're giving your chef or kitchen manager false cost of goods sold. It's a managed number called paper goods. So the litmus test is, if it's 100% of the time used on that item, it's food. Otherwise, it's a line item on my P&L. Batch recipe. Any sauce, ingredient, and so on. It's just a quantity up here is the number of portions it yields. Yes? Yeah, about 2%. The question is, where should my line item be on my budget? About 2%. That includes butt paper and the like. If I'm busier, I use more. If I'm slower, I use less. About 2% of sales. Fried food items, oil. Oil is a consumable.
Right. How much do you consider that?
Beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending divided by everything I fry gives me my oil factor. Everybody understand that question? If I buy oil, oil's food. Well, how do I track that? Well, I don't use oil in my ahi or pizza or whatever it is. So I'm going to run a consumable factor just for oil. What was my beginning inventory of oil? All the purchase of oil, ending inventory of oil. It tells me how much oil I used. Go to the POS. Any fried items, the number of fried items divided by my oil I use gives me what should be on every fried item to charge enough. Because it is product. It goes away. Excellent question. Now here's my deal. I got myself in trouble. What time are we supposed to finish? You guys start at 4:15. The next thing, right? It's literally across the hallway. You guys okay if I go 10 over? Son of a... So many words. Okay, here we go. Batch recipes. Batch recipes are any ingredient. I take the total cost of the recipe divided by number of ounces it creates, and I come up with 4 cents a usable ounce. I can use this pizza sauce now in a pizza by the ounce. Little box at the bottom. You should be able to document every batch recipe within 1 week. Maybe 2, because you're so busy. Why? I do. Here's the deal. Ready? Why should you be able to document, not cost out, but document every batch recipe within 1 week? Because I've made it. If I haven't made it, it sucks and I'm going to kill someone. Right? You're making an ingredient, a side dish, a sauce. If you're not making it once a week, ew! Your customers are even telling you. A item recipe is an item I'm going to sell. I've got my yields in here. This is the spreadsheet version of things. Use divided by sale price gives me food cost. Easy enough. Here's the deal. You need to document every item recipe, not from memory. Get in the kitchen and see how they're actually producing it, because that is your recipe. Who here has rehired a cook that worked for you 5 years ago or longer recently? Anybody? Does that person go, holy crap, that's not how we make it? Because it changed. It's not written down, it's handed down. And by the time that old employee comes back, that's not how we made it 5 years ago. And we wonder why we're not... Here's the deal, ready? Nobody here has an Applebee's in their place, right? Good, because they suck. Do you know why Applebee's has lines of people? They suck the same way every day. Our guests want the same. Sometimes I go in your place and the portion's this big. Sometimes it's this big. Sometimes it's salty. Sometimes it's spicy. Sometimes it's different. We drive customers away when they have a different experience every time they come in your door. Do you know recipe costing cards are just as much as top line driving sales as they are bottom line efficiency? Putting out the same product every single day that my guests can count on it will be that good every day. Favorite chain restaurant in the world, Chipotle Mexican Grill. Ever been to one? They have 5 freaking products. 4 ways. They're awesome at what they do. I'd rather have a smaller menu. Now, here's an item recipe. We're going to skip that because we have. If I have recipe costing cards, what do I do with them? Let's say you want to put out a new menu, right? You want to put out a new menu. Add up all your recipe costs plus what you're going to sell it for. Use divided by sales is my food cost. That's how I was taught. Do not raise your hand when I ask it. It's rhetorical. Who else was taught this way? Don't raise your hand. Because it's wrong. See, it's what your customers actually purchase. It's a scary word. It's called a weighted average. Ugh. I can sell fresh cut French fries at 5% food cost, along with anchor appetizers, frozen appetizers out of a box at 38% and still make money. Because I sell the hell out of my French fries. Best way to describe it is I have a 2-item menu. All I do is sell 2 items. One item has a 99% food cost. One has a 1% food cost. In a calendar month, I sell 100 items. 99 of them at a 99% food cost. One at 1%. What's my food cost that month? 99%. Next month, same menu, sell 100 items, 99 at 1% food cost. 1 at 99, what's my food cost? 1%. See, I have to have accurate, up-to-date recipe costing cards in order to do this analysis. You know what else it tells me? It tells me exactly what your food costs should have been last period. That you're grabbing onto 34% average food cost for the nation, and yours, based on what your customers order, you're at a 22%. You're donking off money left and right. I can't do this analysis without accurate, up-to-date recipe costing cards. So to answer your question, whether it's my software or any one of my competitors, I don't care. You are now in a day and age you cannot maintain this on spreadsheets anymore. Like I said, I don't care if it's mine or somebody else's. You must have a database system that every time a delivery comes, you can update your prices, because today, when your delivery showed up, aren't there changes in your pricing? Means every recipe card is wrong today. Well, I used to do it. It's hard. Okay? So now look at this. When I have menu mix, down at bottom here, this is actually a screenshot. This continues down to every menu category in this restaurant. But this restaurant ran at a 21.88% food cost. What if it came in at 25? right? I can see where my inefficiencies are. I can look at my other systems. But look at this. When I want to re-engineer, am I going after food cost or contribution margin, cash contribution? I can't determine when I want to re-engineer a menu which one of these I'm going after if I don't have a what? A budget. Primarily, what one thing do I need to know to make this decision? What number? What one number must you leave this room understanding? Prime cost. Because you're going to make the decision. If you're a social worker and says, I'm not going to cut labor, guess what you got to do? You've got to go after cost of goods sold. If you're somebody who says, I won't charge enough for the product I sell, I won't. You're going to say, I can't, but it's I won't. Then you got to cut labor. See, the changes you make in your business are congruent with your core values. They're not just about making money. And oh, by the way, if you tell me, David, after I do this exercise, you're fine and dandy with your 55%, but based on I'm not willing to charge this much, I'm not willing to cut labor, 60% is my number, and then I will applaud you because you made the decision where you're going to make money. You decided that 60 was your target, not 55. I'm all for that. Your core values have everything to do with every business decision you make in your business. I told you I have a high food cost. Is okay. Cheeseburger, $5.50. T-bone, $12.95. Use divided by sales, 20% food cost, $42. Which one of these do you want to sell? Which one of these do you want to sell? Probably the T-bone. Some of you know, based on your mix. But why? Now look, $12.95 T-bone steak. That is truck stop wafer thin, right? Garbage. Oh, by the way, those of you who are adding steaks to your menus and not charging enough, you're not selling them because people think they suck. Because you're not charging enough for the quality product you put out. You wonder why. I want to sell this T-bone because why? I have a $10 an hour cook. Takes a burger, flips it, makes me $4.37. T-bone is twice the profitability. Does it take 2 cooks to flip the steak? Same cook. While it's a higher cost of goods sold, the ring at the register is higher, the cash contribution is higher, which drives my labor cost what? Down. That's why prime cost is the number you must know. I can actually run a higher food cost on purpose and reduce my labor cost. You have to know your business. Price elasticity. In our industry, it's not supply and demand. It's demand. If it sells like hell, raise the price. Because it's that damn good. It's that damn good at any price. So I'm going to start looking at my top 1, 2, 3 items. They're going up in each section. Especially if it's a signature item. By the way, some of you don't raise your prices because you're terrified. Oh my God, what if they don't come back? What if they keep coming and you lose money every guest that walks in the door? If we do this analysis, we can re-engineer your menu, and I show you that you lost 1 out of every 4 customers. 25% of your business doesn't come back because we raise prices, but I showed you to make more money. Would you make the change? Some of you wouldn't, because the ego need of seeing butts and seats far outdrives your desire to make money. Descending dollar report. I want you all going back to your vendors and ask every vendor you have for a descending dollar report. What you sell, what you buy the most dollar-wise to the least. By the way, everybody understand Excel? If you highlight cells, drag down, highlight them all, it tells you the total in the bottom right-hand side of what's in those cells. You will find that the top 8 items to 10 items in your business drive 85% of your purchasing. Out of 300 items you buy, 8 to 10 are driving all your dollars. I go to my vendor and say, hey, look, if I promised you my tonnage, if I buy all this ketchup from you, if I buy all this from you, will you give me a better price? You ever go to a food show and they say if you buy this much stuff, promise to buy this, they give you a better price? Yeah? You know they could do that all year round? Not just for the show. Okay? So, I promise this. What if they say, no, I can't? You're getting the best price I can give you. Can't do it. I say, hey, vendor, do you have a like quality or better quality product? You did not hear me say cheaper, did you? A like quality or better quality product for a cheaper price. See, See, when I was a franchisor, I could bring something in. I'd get a slot. We no longer bought Anchor Appetizer. We went to Great American Appetizer Company, an offshoot of them. Every vendor, you know when you go to a grocery store, everything at this eye level right here? I've noticed I had to get down here. You know in a grocery store, they pay to be on those shelves, right? Do you know the Sysco's, US Foods, all of them. Say to the vendor, give me your best price. Now add $5 a case and I'll sell it. And it's mine. They pay marketing money to be sold out in the marketplace. That's average. It's not big bad vendors, it's what they do. When I, as a chain, brought in that product, I circumvented the marketing money. Do you know what? Unless it's a trade secret to my business, you could buy it too. They're just not going to tell you it's on the shelves if you don't ask. At the cheaper price. Do this for your top 10 items and watch your purchasing dollars go down 2 to 3 percentage points buying the same groceries you buy today with no fixing the kitchen. Is it worth doing? Better written that down. I swear to goodness, I will hunt you down. Key item report. Remember, we're going to go 10 over because I give you 5 minutes. You better run over there because they'll get mad at me. Key item report. This is a sheet to deter theft. Beginning of the shift, what items I want to keep track of that may cost me a lot of money, or things I want to track because I think I'm losing it. Shrinkage. How many portions I have opening inventory. What I prep or purchase. I started with 100 French fry portions on the shelves. I prepped 60. I could sell 160. Easy arithmetic, right? Started with this many, made this many portions. At the end of the shift, I go to that expensive cash register called the point of sale system. Oh my goodness, we're going to start to use this machine. Not just to take money. It says I sold 120 portions of French fries. How many burgers I sold? I should have sold 120. 120 minus 160 says I should have 40 on the shelves. Arithmetic tells me that. Then I take my happy little hiney and I run into the kitchen and I count. And I count 32. I'm short 8. Where should they be? They're 8. Gone. Where are they? Should be on the weigh sheet. If they're not on the weigh sheet, I have one of two things that went wrong, one worse than the other. I either have theft, or worse than theft, management not using the systems I put in place to control my numbers. Listen to what I said. Theft, or worse than theft, management not using the systems I put in place to control my numbers. That's how I view it. Is this hard? No. You're going to do this every shift or every day, depending on how much control you want. It's inspecting what you expect, keeping honest people honest. They'll go steal somewhere else. Now look at this. I put on here, get a clear Lexan, and when people do prep, have all the scraps put into a clear Lexan before it goes in the garbage and audit it. Because I find I have a cook that is trimming 2 ounces per fillet of chicken or chicken breast that's usable, and they're just throwing it away because it's not their money, they're just chopping it off. That's money, isn't it? It's use, it's waste, it's gone. I can identify this person needs to be trained on prep or get the hell out of my kitchen. Proactively changing my bottom line. Portion control, scales, portion bags, ladle sizes, right? You've got to have a checklist that if it calls for a 2-ounce ladle, there's a 2-ounce ladle, not a 4-ounce ladle. I need to calibrate my scales. And then look, I know you've got the 5 broken digital scales in that one metal drawer, and you swear you're never buying them another frickin' scale in their life. Stop buying the digital scales. Get the springy cheap ones. Just grab a stick of butter and throw it on there. It's £1. Calibrate them. Right? Make sure people are using this. This is huge. Remember? Use. If I overportion 2 ounces of French fries every plate. See, somebody in this room probably went, David, on that key item report, why would you pre-portion French fries? Cheapest product in my building. If you do $1 million a year in sales and your number one side dish is French fries, I will promise you that within a week, your sales rep will be in your door because you will be buying $300 to $500 a week less in French fries. Why? What do cooks do when they see white space? Fill it. And just giving somebody more French fries one portion one day, and the next day somebody else follows the recipe and it's smaller, don't I get pissed off as a guest? I just got gypped. Consistency. Deliveries, check them for quality. When that delivery comes in, the tomatoes, do you dig down to the bottom? Because have you ever gotten halfway through a week and seen crap in the box? Oh, they turned wrong. They got delivered bad. Because that vendor has cost of goods sold too. You just have shown them that you'll accept anything. Now it's your problem, not theirs. Check for temperatures. Right? We only have 4 hours from the time that chicken head went off. And it got delivered 3 times wherever it got to your building. Biggest thing out of this bullet is I want you to say, y'all get credits from your vendors, right? Something's wrong on the invoice, you get credits. When's the last time you cashed them in? How do salespeople get paid? Commission, right? Do I want to reduce my commission? Go check with your sales rep. You have this bucket called credits. I bet you it's there. You have to ask to use them. You've been given them. They've just never been taken off a bill. Menu engineering. This is where we're going to finish up with, and we may not go full 10 over. If you give me accurate recipe costing cards, menu mix from your POS system, I will guarantee, if you've never done this exercise the right way, 3 to 7 points lower food cost. Guaranteed first time through. That's dramatic, isn't it? Anybody here not want 3 to 7 points reduction in your food costs? Oh, I can't do this if you don't have what? Accurate, up-to-date recipe costing cards. Means you've got to have, whether mine or somebody else's, you must have software. I want to remind people, your menus can't be all things to all people. Stop with a breakfast place open down the street, so I'm going to add breakfast. Steakhouse open down the street, I'm going to add steak. Do something well. Take Chipotle Mexican Grill, or here in the West, have you gone to an In-N-Out Burger yet? What do they sell? A hamburger, a cheeseburger, French fries, and a milkshake. And if you're on the inside, you know how to order mustard. He said our business is different. I hate that term because it's not. Because I got news for you. There are people in In-N-Out Burger. It's a cult. It's a cult. They're there weekly, daily, some of them. So the question is, I've got people in my, basically what we're trying to say is I got to have more variety. Wrong. More variety means this. When I run an item sales mix report and I find that you maybe average an item, sell 1 a day, you don't. You sell 3, 4, 5, 6 on a weekend, 1 on a Tuesday. And you've got to cook the next Tuesday standing on the line. Ticket comes up, da-da-da. Crap, I haven't made that in weeks. And reinvent the dish. Right? Goes out like crap, goes to different portions. It's completely different. And I wonder why I'm not making money. I wonder why people don't come back. I would rather sell almost nothing and be so freaking awesome at it because they'll come. No, I'm saying for you to make sure you know your demographic and be great at what you do, not be all things to all people. That's the message. I'm not trying to drive them to the chain restaurants. Who am I trying to help, man? You. But you got to listen to what I'm saying. Don't spin it into a negative. This other guy, I hope, trained you, whoever he was, on menu engineering. Watch this. There are studies of a 2-panel menu, 3-panel menu, single-panel menu, where eye movement goes. I can decide those items I want to sell that make me more money, lower food costs, whatever, where to put it. I know studies show if I have 10 items, 5 by each for my friends from Philly, first, second, and last will sell the most. You mean I can actually determine if I put my first, second, and last item, I could change my mix, which means I don't have to raise all of my prices. I could put one of those things I want to sell, put it in a prime spot, they'll buy more, and I don't have to touch these other items because the volume is going to go up on those items. Oh, the other part is, do you see ... bold $sign? No. You're going to see a description, 1 space, no $sign, and the price should be in between a capital and a lowercase font. So about a half to full font size smaller than a capital letter. When you text message in caps, what are you doing? Yelling. Do I want to yell, look at me, and a price? Or do I want you to read the description and want it? Box it. Do you know that if I box something, it will outsell anything else? pictures. Anybody here in the restaurant business? Because I know none of you have found yourself out last night about 3 o'clock in the morning, blood-eyed drunk, at a Denny's going, moving a hammy. Why do the chain restaurants use pictures? Because it sells. I can dramatically change what my customers order by putting a picture in it if it matches your concept. If I'm fine dining, no way in hell I'm doing that. Descriptions. I don't want a grocery list. If I'm fine dining, you can have duck breast and so on. But I don't want a chicken breast, American cheese, shredded lettuce, tomato. No, I want a savory grilled chicken breast brushed with sweet teriyaki sauce, topped with wine, pineapple, and melted cheddar. Yum. Your descriptions have to sell, and the price is buried. I can decide what to do with these menu engineering tips if I have what? Accurate, up-to-date recipe costing cards and your menu mix. So one of the questions is, what should our average be? It's not. I don't really give a rat's ass what the national average is. What's your food cost, and what does your food cost need to be for you to make money based on your what? Budget. It will be different for everyone in this room. But you cannot make that determination if you don't have a budget. Now look here. If I have menu mix, I can do a couple things. Decide whether it's based on food cost or contribution margin. Sort what I sell the most of. Those things that I sell the most of, guess what? I'm raising the price. Have you ever raised prices on your menu and gone like this? Waiting for somebody to complain? Isn't that what we do? And then what happens? You don't hear a word. That means you didn't raise them high enough. You have not found your limit. Items that suck. Not you think they suck. Your customers tell you. I know some of you have to have Aunt Lucille's meatloaf because you have to when your customers don't buy it. If they don't want it, let it go. Who are we here for? Our guests, not for you. Any of these items I delete, see this 47, 36, 14, I have to make a decision that that customer went to a different item. If I had tuna fish salad, salmon salad, and I get rid of tuna, where's that tuna person going? That's black and white, right? But if I don't know where they might go, I'm going to, based on a weighted average, I'm going to say 8 out of 10 went here, 1 here, 1 here. I'm going to assume that guest went somewhere else. I may reimagine an item. I've got a chicken sandwich that I can't charge enough for in my brain. I can't do it. They'll kill me. I got to raise it $2. I haven't raised my prices in 2 years. I got to raise it $2. Stop freaking out. Change the mayo to a Chipotle mayo, rename the damn thing, it's brand new, it's $2 more. Re-engineer the damn thing. Buy smarter. If I can reduce the cost of my recipes, if I could reduce portion size without giving up guest satisfaction, can you tell if there's 8 ounces of rice on a plate or 6 ounces? If your garbage can shows that there's a lot of food in there, one of two things happened. Your portions are too big, which means I can reduce the portions on those items I'm seeing in there, not raise the price, and the guests will still be happy, or your food sucks. Figure it out. Look at this. Closing with this example. Typical pizza place, right? Price list. Lots of stuff. No white space. 33% food cost. Outside of Philadelphia, cheesesteaks, chicken wings, pizza. 33% food cost. Next menu revision was this, and this is a bad menu revision. We reduced their food cost by 5 points. What don't I like about this? Logo up here doesn't belong there. Eye movement, ego need, price list, lots of things. But you know what? We told the owner, put it out on the table. Even though he said, this sucks, it's wrong. He needed to make a change in his business. Some of you have been working on that menu change for a year, waiting for the perfect menu. There is no such thing as a perfect menu. When we have recipe costing cards, menu mix, we may change our menu every month. Because here's the deal. Think about it. You put out that menu, you had everyone read it, including your mother. Hits the table and somebody goes, are you an idiot? Can't you spell tomatoes? There is no such thing as a perfect menu. Look at this. Years later, many revisions later, same restaurant, $2.5 million, 2 more points, 7 points down in food cost. This battle is never ending. Every period, every month minimum, I have menu mix and actual recipe costing cards. We no longer get the 3 to 7 point change. Do you know what we get to do? We get to make up the profits we lost because there were locusts. Cows up in Canada ate these locusts. They became mad. Citrus crops are through the roof because locusts swarmed on it. Don't you always have locusts? Aren't there some crop, some item that your sales rep comes in and goes, they're really high. This commodity's high because of something. Well, guess what? Without shocking the guests, I can make small changes, surgically make small changes so I don't give up my profitability. If you did not give me your business card in the door, please put it in here. If you don't have a business card, fill out one of these white cards on either side. I'm going to do a drawing for 2 of you, you and a guest, to come to my next workshop in Phoenix, Arizona, September 21st to the 23rd. It's a $1,500 value. You got to get yourself there. I've kept you long enough. Get the hell out of here. Thank you.